Welcome back to Tech. This is the 8th part of our Shad CN UI series with Next.js, and in this video we're going to learn how to use Combobox. If you did not watch the previous parts of this series, you can go ahead and play them and watch from my YouTube channel. You can find all of the parts there. I also made a playlist there. You can just go there and play that playlist. So far I have covered all of these components above the Combobox. So now let's start with the Combobox now. So this is the documentation for the Combobox, and as it says, Combobox autocomplete input and command palette with the list of suggestions. So this is how it will look once you add the Combobox. It is just a drop down with a search input within it. So it opens and you can search based on that. So this is one example. There are multiple ways, multiple ideas to use this, and you can use your own creativity to make it whatever you want. And this is another example. This is the same thing, I guess, and this is the popover example. If you click on it, it shows the Combobox on the right, and if you select, it will set the status for you. So it is using the combination of different things like the Combobox, the labels, the Tailwind CSS, and the React state, etc. And after that we have the drop down menu example. Here there is a drop down menu button on the right side. If you click on that, hover on it, then it's look like a context menu, and if you hover on apply label, it then displays the Combobox. That is the main thing that we're talking about here. And if you select any of these like this one, it will update the state and it will be visible on the left side. Then you can create responsive Combobox by using popover on desktop and the drawer components on the mobile. Okay, so by default it opens in this way and update the states. So in this example, if you reduce the width of your browser, it will show the mobile version, and that is looking very nice. If you click on that, it opens the Combobox in the drawer mode, so you don't have to do anything. It will manage and show that into that by itself, but this is the code that you have to follow to make this possible. Then there is another use case of the Combobox, that is form example, and this is a proper complete form, and if you hit submit, it will show the validation errors, and because this is required here. And if you click on this, it will show the list of the languages. You can select the language and submit it, and it would be submitted. You will see the submitted data in the toast. Okay, so these are all of the examples. Now let's quickly start using it by ourselves. So to use it, scroll down, and this is the installation instruction. The Combobox is built using a composition of the popover and the command component. So that's mean this is not a component itself. This is just a use case or combination of multiple components of Shad CN. So first component is popover and second one is the command. So these are the main components that are being used here. So it is suggesting us to see the installation instruction of popover and command. So first let's make sure that popover and command is installed. So click on this one and this one. Okay, so to install, this is how the popover will look like. It just open an overlay over the target area, and this is the command. Just copy the command and open the root directory of your project in the terminal and paste that command. So it is saying that popover.tsx already exists, because in my earlier videos we have been using it in some examples, so it was installed already. But in your case, maybe you did not install it yet, you are trying it first time, then it will not show this message and it will just create a new file for you. But if you already have it, it will ask for your permission to overwrite it, and here you will have to be very careful, because if you have made any changes in the popover.tsx already, and if you just press Y here, it would just replace all of the changes that you have made so far. So if you made any change or you have customized the popover.tsx already, then you should press no. I did not make any change yet, so I will just press Y and it will replace that file. So this is the file that was generated in the component/UI folder, and the file name is popover.tsx, and this is the all of the code that it is using to display a popover component. So after that, close it, and now we have the command component. So this is how the command component looks like. So this is just a fast, composable, unstyled command menu for React. Okay, so there are multiple interesting examples that we will cover in the next videos, but for now we just need to quickly install it. So just copy this command again, go back to the terminal, paste it, and it would install all of the dependencies. So it will not only create the source file in your components folder, but it will also install the dependencies. So for example, here it installed two components, dialog and command.tsx, and other than that, if you go to the package.json, you will find that it installed other dependencies, like it has added the cmdk library or package, and that's all it has added so far. Okay, now let's go back to the combo box and close everything else, and this is the usage. You just have to copy paste. You can copy this code, or you can take this code as well. To take this code, you can go to the code, or you can just click on this button. It will copy all of the code on your clipboard. Now let's go back to the page.tsx, delete everything, paste the code that you got. And as we are using Next.js, so here this is the page.tsx, so don't forget to put the default keyword here, otherwise it will not work, because this is the required thing for a page file. Okay, now here in your project you can see it is now visible. Let me bring everything in the middle. So for that I will just move everything inside our div, another div, and in this div I will add some Tailwind CSS classes like this. Now it is perfectly in the middle, and you will see everything is very clear and functional. You can search anything, and other than that we can dig into the code to see how they achieved that. Okay, so for example, this is the component. They have created two states. One is open, so it will track the visibility of the combo box if it is opened or closed, and we have the value state that will keep track of the selected value. Okay, so now let's collapse and uncollapse these components one by one. I'm going to collapse all of these. So in this div we have two main components, popover, and we have actually one main component, that is popover, and then within that we have popover trigger and the content. Okay, and on the popover we are passing the open prop, our state, and we are passing our set open function to the on open change event. So as soon the open state is changed, it will automatically call our set open function that would update our local state open to whatever state it is right now. And all of these components are coming from the components /UI/popover that were generated. And if we uncollapse the popover trigger, and this is the button that I guess you see here. So this is actually a button. So just to show you, if I add something here like XYZ, save it, you will see that it is now visible here. So that's mean whatever you see in the beginning here would be the button. It looks like a drop down menu or select menu, but it is a button technically in the code. So in the popover trigger we are using as child prop because we would like to pass our own component. So this button is again a Shad CN UI component that was added, and if you are trying it first time, or if in your project button is not available, then you have to install the button. So when you copy paste the code in this way from their website, so it is possible that some of the components are not installed. So sometimes they do not describe everything, they do not guide you that which components you need to install. So but it is straightforward. You will get idea from the error that this component is not available yet. Then you will just search for that specific component. For example, command F, search for the button, and on the left sidebar you will see this is the button component. You can go there and follow the instruction, click on this and install the button or whatever component is missing. Okay, so once you have the button, I already actually have recorded video as well on that. So if you want to watch that, you can watch that as well, where I also show you how to customize the button instead of just using it as it is. And once we have the button, we are using the outline variant. Then we are passing the role combo box, then class name. Here we are specifying the width and justify between. This is Tailwind CSS class, and after that we are passing the value. So let me show you what's going on here. If you reload it, this is the default text select framework that is coming from here, and that appears based on a specific condition. If value is not available yet, it is empty string or falsy, then it will show this text. But if it is truthy, then it will get content from this expression. So in this expression, frameworks.find function will find a specific item from this array, and once we get the object, we will get the label property from that object. So here we are using the condition that from this array, give us the object where value is equal to the value state that we have defined here. So whatever state is, we will the relevant or correspondent object would be selected, and we will take the label from it so that we could display it. So because we have two different values, one is label and one is value. So value is more database kind of value that will go to the database and will be saved in the database in the backend, and label is the graphic user interface related thing. So that's why it is different. In some cases, or most of the cases, you will also have the ID. So in the value, instead of this, you may have ID as well. So this is the thing that user will not see, and this is the thing that user will be seeing in the UI. So because of this line, as soon as you select something, the state value would be changed, and because of the state change, it will show the relevant label here. After that, we have the icon that is coming from the Lucid-React. This is also an awesome library that I have shown you several times, that has more than 1500 icons available there, and you can use any of them very easily. And after that, we have the popover trigger. After that, we have the popover content that has some Tailwind CSS classes, width and padding 0. And then we have the command main component, and command and other related components, command empty, command group, input, command item, command list, are coming from this component that we installed earlier. And within that, we have command input. So this is basically the input that appears in this drop down. So you can play around with this. You can change the styles, like it has added height. You can control the height from 9 to maybe 12 if you want to, if it is available in Tailwind CSS. Yes, the height is increased. You can increase it further like this. So 22 is not, I guess, available. So try this. Okay. So you can just press and you will see all of the options. For example, I have added the 50. This is not looking great, just to show you that you can change it. So I will revert it back to what it was before. And in this command input, we have the placeholder that you can customize. So you can, for example, add XYZ that would appear in that input. Okay. And after that, we have the command list component. If you look at it, it has further two components in it, command empty and command group. So for example, you are searching something and nothing was found based on that keyword. It will show you a default text. If no data was found, it will say no framework found. So let's see. As you see, nothing was matching with that, so it now shows no framework found. Okay. And after that, in the command group, we are looping through the frameworks, the array that we have defined above here, and in that loop we have the command item component that is being repeated with the help of this loop. And if you uncollapse it, we are passing the label, and let me show you. And this is the label for every framework. And after that, we are showing the icon, and icon is the check mark that displays to the item that is currently selected. Okay. So this is check icon that is again coming from the same library, Lucid-React, and we are passing it some classes. So ML auto, so it will automatically add some space to the left side so that it could be pushed to the right side. And after that, we are passing another class value. If equals to the value state equals to the framework value, then opacity would be 100. That's mean it would be visible. But if this is not the selected framework, then we will set the opacity to 0 and make it invisible. So all of the checkboxes are available in all of these items as well, but their opacity is 0. So that's why these are not visible yet. All right. So to make this more interesting, we will use some real world data, because currently this is the hard coded. So but in your real projects, it is possible that you might be getting data from the backend, and then your question would be how to use it. Okay. So I will rename it to a different value. For example, here I will add items name to it. It is replaced everywhere because I have renamed it. And now I will give it a type value string and label string, and by default I'm going to set it an empty array. So just remove it. And why is it complaining? Also, we need to add array symbol here, so the error is gone. Now we should move it inside it, and I believe it should be a React state instead of regular items variable. So I'm going to convert it into the state items, set items, and we have added the type of every item in this state as the generic type. And now we don't need it. You can remove this part. Okay. All right. We have items that are being used, but currently it is empty. So we want to load the items from the database, and once it is loaded, it will update the state, and then that data would be visible. All right. So for that, I will create a function load items, and here I will create a button somewhere that that will call this function on click. Okay, so here I will add a button. Actually, let's use the real Shad CN UI button. So on click, it will call the load items, and we have the text load items in it, and this is how it is going to look like. Let me add some gap between it, gap 9. Okay, so as soon as you click on that, it should load the data. Currently there is no data available. Okay, so now I will use a JSON placeholder. That is basically very simple REST API that is publicly available. You can just use it for prototyping or for testing purpose, but later you can replace it with the real one. But this is also a real REST API. I mean, it is hosted live, and it has available all of the REST API methods. You can test them. So now I'm getting the users, and here I will add async so that I could use await here, await, and here I will save the response in the response constant, and then I will get the data by calling the JSON function that will convert the response into the consumable JSON that we have it here now. And before doing anything else, I would like to alert and see the data what we have. So click on the load items, and you can see we have all of the users. So in this data we have ID, name. So I'm thinking that we should use the name as the display value and ID as the internal value property, because we want to have two properties in the items. One is label. Label would be the name of the user, and the value would be the ID. So let's map this data into item state. So for that, let me remove this, and we mapped our data here. We changed its shape to this one, value and label. So this prepared a totally new array for us with this shape exactly, and now we can set it to our state by calling the set items and gave it the items. Okay, now close it, reload it. Currently you see no data is available, and if you click on that, you will see all of the users are now visible. But the problem is that when I select something, nothing is being displayed here. So let's see why it is happening and how we can fix that. So here in the basically trigger, we are comparing value with the value. But the issue is that there is in the framework dot value. Actually, this is not a framework anymore. It is item and item dot value. So item dot value is ID, but value, this is basically an object. So actually, it did not complain about this problem. It should have complained in the TypeScript compiler so that we could see it early. So in order to utilize the power of the TypeScript, we should properly define generic type here. So whatever you will pick would be saved here. So for example, here I can add this type, value, string, and label string. Okay, so now we know that whenever we will select something in this value property, we will have the entire object, and the value would be empty object. Actually, let's add null here as the default value, and I will add null here as well. Okay, so it can be either null or this object. So once we select something, this value state will have an object, and then here we started to see the errors because of the power of the TypeScript. Now it will help us to fix the problem. So here we are comparing the string or number with an object. That is impossible, so we have to fix that. So as we know that value state has an object that has a value property, that is what we wanted to compare. So if this is matched, then we will get the relevant item object, and we will get the label and display it. So let's see, let's change it to select users, and here I will add users here as well, and here I can add no user found, and let's replace these as well. And we got error here as well. That is the same kind of error. On select, we are setting current value. So on select, we are checking if current value is value, then set empty, otherwise use the current value. So that's mean this is kind of toggle effect. If it is already the current value, then we will uncheck it, unselect it. Okay, so here, as we know, this is going to have this current value is basically the ID of the user, and this is the actual object. So here I can say dot value dot value. Okay, but it can be it can make more sense if we change its name like user, but for now it's fine. And now we are setting empty string, but we know that the set value will take only null or empty object. So as we want to make it null, so we will just pass the null. And this is another issue, that we are trying to set the string to an object, so we have to fix that. So this is the ID, so we will actually find the object and set here. For that I will use items.find, where item.value is equal to the current value. And now this is another problem, that it can also return undefined. So either either you handle the situation, if it doesn't find something, then it should add null, but you can also add this exclamatory sign that will tell TypeScript that it is never going to be empty. So now let's see what else we have. It is now saying that value is possibly null. So if it is null, then I will simply add question mark here. That will fix the problem. So if it is null, then it will directly skip to the next part and will execute the expression. And now again here we are checking if value state dot value is equal to user dot value, and it is again can be undefined, so I added the question mark here. So yeah, it can be a null, not undefined. Okay, so that's it. Now let's quickly test it. Currently no data, and if you click on the load items, it is now showing the item. Okay, and if you select any user, it is again not working. Let me see what's the problem. So I guess the problem is this triple equal comparison. In the value we have the number, I guess, and this is the string because we're getting from here. So I will also show you why it is happening. So let me actually show you the type, alert type of current value. Save it. Now let's select. You can see the type is string, but if I show you in the network the data that we are getting from the backend, in that data the ID is number. You can see it is a number, not a string. That's why it was not matching. So for that, to fix that problem, we can either fix it here or we can manage it here. I think it is better to fix where we are actually loading the data. So here I will convert it to the string like this. Save it. Now let's see what happens. Click on it, data is loaded, and you select, the user is being selected, and everything is working smoothly. So one another little enhancement or user behavior improvement is that when data is not loaded, maybe we should keep it disabled, and also when you are loading the data, we should show a spinner that is rotating and telling user that it is loading the data. That will make more sense. So for that, I will add another state, const loading, set loading. By default value is false, and once we call this function load items, we will set loading to true, and once data is available, we will set the state to false for the loading. And now let's make this pop over disabled. I don't know if disabled is there, or maybe in this we have, yes, here we have the disabled property in this trigger. So we passed the prop disabled with the loading state. If it is false, this would stay disabled. You can, so currently it is not disabled because it is false, but we can add an additional condition like and if items length is either if it is loading or items length is 0, it should stay disabled. So it is now disabled. You can see it is grayed out and now it is not clickable. And after that, we need to add the disabled on this button. That would depend on the loading state. Okay, currently it is not loading, so that's why it is enabled. If you click on that, it would be disabled for a second depending on the speed of your backend API. So if it takes longer time, then it will stay disabled for longer period. And also I would like to add the spinner here. So let's add spinner. I don't know if spinner is there, or maybe yes, loader2. And so this loader2 actually is the icon that is coming from the same library Lucid React, and we have added some classes of Tailwind CSS, like it should be added the animation class that would make it rotate continuously, and if it is loading, it would be displayed block, but if it is not loading, then it should stay hidden. Okay, save it. Now let's try. You can see it displayed the loader for some time and then it disappeared. As it is so quick, we cannot properly see it. So if you want to observe it for more time, just go to the network. We will intentionally reduce the speed of our internet here. Currently, network throttling is not enabled, but you can click on that and you can see several options. There are some presets, but you can create your own preset as well. So here, for example, you set 3G, that is extremely slow speed. So if you click on that, you will see it will take some time and you will have some time to observe your animation and your design that you have created. Or you can make it completely offline and it would be failed because of no internet and the loader would stay there forever. So we can handle that situation as well. If in some case internet is not there, it should properly handle the error displayed appropriately by using the toast that we have here in the Shad CN, and then it should set it to normal button again. Anyways, instead of that, you can add custom one by going there, add customer file. You can call it very slow, and here you can add 1 KB, 1 kbit per second, upload 1 kbit per second. Okay, and what else? Here these are other detailed settings. You can specify if you want to. I will just add it as it is. Now if you go back, close it, and in the network, if you open it, you have very slow option here. Select that and let me reload it. Okay, as it is very slow, that is why now it is taking a lot of time to load. Let me actually set no throttling so it could load once it is loaded. Open the very slow preset that we just created. Now hit that button and it will take forever to load it, but once it is available, the data is ready, it will show it here. 1 KB is too small, but still it worked because our data set is very small, but data is now available. Okay, excellent. So we did several things here at the advanced things. Now let's quickly move forward and we will quickly see how we can use other examples. We will not spend that much time like we spent here. I just wanted to give you an idea that how you can extend your code and convert these examples into dynamic versions. But next examples would be quick. So let's use this popover. I'm going to copy this code, select all, delete it, paste this code, and here we must have to add the default because I am pasting the code in the page.tsx. Now here, this is the popover. Actually, let me add a simple page code for the Next.js. Export default function page return, and here we will be using the external component. So we will create a new file in the demos folder, and the file name would be the Combobox, new Combobox demo.tsx. And now copy this code again, paste it here. Now you don't need to make any change here in the function name. No need to add the default keyword. Just copy the name of the component and use it here. Okay, just import it like this. Make sure to add the import statement from that file, save it, and now here you can see it is visible. Let me wrap it in the div so that I could bring it in the middle of the screen. For that I will add flex, item center, justify center, and height should be equal to the screen. Okay, so this is how it is working. It is the same thing but in a different style or different variation. Now let's quickly copy this as well, and to copy that I will just replace it, and also we need to copy the name of the component so that we could use it here as it is. Okay, so this is what we have, and you can see everything is still working in the same way like in the documentation. And if you want to quickly have a look, these are the states, label open. So every story is almost similar for every example. So now scroll down, we have this one, responsive variation. Just copy that. Let's see if it is straightforward to use this complex example. I pasted it, but again I would tell you that make sure that these components or dependencies are already installed. As this is, you can see it is depending on these components, command, drawer, and popover. So if in any case if it is not working for you, that's mean you did not install the required Shad CN UI component. So you have to copy the name of the component from here and search for that relevant component in this left sidebar, open that component and install those missing components. Once you have those components installed, then you can freely use it, and you will notice that error will be gone. And now I'm getting this use media query error. Media query is a hook is not available. So let's see if it is provided anywhere. If not, then we may have to create by ourselves, or let me search it on the internet. Shad CN UI use media query. Okay, so open this, and this is the media query that is available on their official repo. So I think this should be working. Let me actually copy this piece of code. We just need this part. Okay, and you can paste it here, or you can paste it in a global utility file. And now we don't need this import. It should be working fine, I guess. Yes. Now copy the Combobox responsive component name, paste it here and here, save it. And now you can see it is working in normal mode, but if you reduce the screen width, it will convert into a drawer like this. Whenever you will click on it, a drawer would be opened and you can type something in the same way. Okay, so that is excellent use case. After that, we have the form version. Copy the code again and here replace everything with that one, and copy the name of the component, combo form, and here replace it with the new component name. And we got an error here. So actually this is wrong path for the use toast. You just need to remove the component, and this use toast should be available here, and the error is gone. So again, this hook should also be installed when you install the dependencies for the toast component that is provided below here. in the Shad CN UI documentation. Okay, once we have it, copy the name of the component Combobox form and go to the page and replace the component with a new one. And now you can see our form is visible and it is functional in the same way like it was on the documentation. And you can select something and hit the submit. Error is gone. But this time the problem is that the popover did not appear, but in their website, if everything is correct, then a popover would appear. So to fix that, let's see what we can do. That first of all, make sure that Toast is installed. I know Toast is installed, but there is another requirement. You have to go to the layout, or let me take you to the popover website really quick. This is for another video. We will again record a video for the popover, but I just want to really quick show you that how we have to use it. So in your main root layout, you have to just add toaster like this. So here in your root layout, add the toaster in this way. Make sure to add the import statements like this and save it, close it. Now here, click on that, select the value, again click on that, and now toaster is being shown in the same way like it was being shown in their documentation. All right, now let's quickly have a look at their component, like how they created this form. So they created a form and used the use form from the React hook form. They used the Zord, that is the validation and very helpful library, and we used the toast here, button here, command, form component. So this also has to be installed from the Shad CN UI. We have the form component there as well. We have the popover here, and then we are creating the array of the languages. This again come from the database like I have shown you earlier. Then we have the form schema, then languages. So there is only one field in this form that will maintain the state for the selected language. Okay, so once you select a language, it will save the value in this input, and if there is a validation error, then we will show this specific error for this specific type of error. Okay, so here you can very easily customize the error message. And then form schema has been created with the help of the Zord, and then we are creating the form with the help of the use form. Then we are specifying the types or the inputs that are going to be used in this form for the better suggestions. So we have passed the generic type by taking the type from the form schema. So that is very powerful feature of the Zord, that you can easily convert your schema into the type or interfaces and it would be ready to be used. And then on submit, again we are inferring from the form schema, the data would be received, and we are just displaying the stringified version here by using the code and pre, and all of the designs that styles that you saw in the UI, that were because of this Tailwind CSS. And then we have the form component, and then the native form tag, and we have the on submit. Here we have to spread. So these are the things that you should already know because these are the part of the other topic, like how to use React hook form. So I am assuming that you know how to use it. And then we have the form field and so on. So all of these components, form control, etc., are coming from the form component that we installed already in the Shad CN. So, and if we talk about the error messages are coming form field. There is only one form field, and this is a form item, and this is a form label, this is a popover, and this is a form description, and this is a form message tag. So actually error is somehow being loaded within this component with the help of the Shad CN UI. Okay, so after that, what else? Let's go back to the actual component Combobox. So I think that's all. These are all of the examples that they have provided, and this is all what you should know about it. And next, you just have to practice it by utilizing it in your own projects, experiment with it, make some changes, and once you are familiar and comfortable with it, you should use it in the production. It is very useful and time-saving component like all of these components. So that's all for this video. If you think this video provided some value to you, then please make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon for my upcoming parts of this series, where I would keep recording all of these components one by one. And not only those, I would also try to create proper real world use cases, examples, and proper projects, entire dashboards as well with the login system. So I can do a lot of things only if I see the interest from you in this series. So please show your interest in the comment section, or like it, and so on. And if you have any questions or suggestion, please mention them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.